Yo guys, this is my 1 to 99 summoning guide, and in this guide I'll be teaching you everything there is to know about training summoning. So for the first part of this guide I'm going to be explaining how to get charms, and the second part would be what you should be making at each level for each charm. So first of all, how to get gold charms. I'd recommend doing your Hellhounds and Fire Giants tasks from Slayer if you get those tasks, but if you're not doing Slayer and just looking for charms, I'd highly recommend killing the giant rock crabs, since not only do they drop 3 gold charms at a time, but they also have an 80% gold charm drop rate, so for each one you kill you have an 80% chance to get 3 gold charms, which is crazy. However, you can settle for Rarari if you're also looking to make some money, and if you're a lower level you can do Ice Giants, Ice Warriors, Moss Giants and Gelatinous Abominations. Moving on to how to get green charms. These charms and crimson charms are mainly for mid-range level players, so if you don't have a high combat level and can't kill high-ish level monsters, you may have a hard time obtaining these charms, but if you do, these are the ones to kill for those green charms, and they are Mithril Dragons, Kapsari, Steel Dragons, Iron Dragons, Living Rock Strikers, Cave Bugs, Bloodvelds, Curasks, Blue Dragons and Black Dragons. So for Crimsons, Water Fiends are obviously going to be the best source of getting a lot of Crimson charms quickly, but you also have a large variety of monsters that you can kill for these charms. You can kill Gladianerits for money as well as charms, along with Glaciors and Tormented Demons, or you could also just opt to kill Celestial Dragons, Skeletal Wyverns, Abyssal Demons, Cockroach Soldiers or Rock Lobsters. With Rock Lobsters you can semi-AFK them with Ice Barrage and you'll get a lot of charms and magic XP while doing this, so I'd recommend that if you would also like to train your magic level fast too. So with blue charms there aren't really that many monsters that you can technically camp to get them apart from these ones, which are Corporeal Beast, Glaciors, Tormented Demons, Ripper Demons, Nex and Calgarian Demons. However, I would highly recommend Glaciors and Tormented Demons to obtain the blue and crimson charms, because you can get them at the same time and their drop rate is so high that you can get kills fairly quickly, and they also drop the charms in increments of 3, so you'll be getting 3 charms for each kill as well as the regular drops that they drop, so you could also be making a fair bit amount of money that can go towards training your summoning by killing these 2 monsters. Now that we know which monsters to kill for each of the charms, this little guy will come in very useful when it's time to pick them up. This is a Charming Imp, and what he does is he collects charms for you before they drop to the ground and puts them straight into your inventory, so you won't have to waste time, looking around the floor for the charms that the monsters have dropped, and you can just concentrate on maximizing your kills per hour on whatever monster you're killing. To get the Charming Imp you need 21 summoning and 21 dungeoneering, and he costs 100,000 dungeoneering tokens to buy, but he is definitely worth it. You can also tell the Charming Imp that he can keep the charms that monsters drop, but I wouldn't recommend this unless you have 99 summoning and have no desire of getting 120 or 200 mil XP, since the XP that he gives you in return for those charms isn't a lot at all. Something you can do once per day is kill BORK. Now he is a level 107 and is located in the Chaos Tunnels, and every time you kill him he will always drop 5 blue, 7 crimson and 2 green charms. However, this can be increased by wearing a Ring of Wealth, finishing the GRAAHK hard task, and by completing the Mighty Fall quest. You don't need to have done all these things to get an increase, but the more that you do the more charms he drops. If you've done all of them you'll be getting 20 blue, 23 crimson and 11 charms every single time you kill him. So if you think about it, if you kill him every day for a month, you would have gotten over 600 blues and crimson as well as over 300 greens just from BORK, so I'd highly recommend killing him once per day if you're looking for charms. You also have to have completed the Hunk for Sorek mini quest, which is fairly easy to be able to kill him. Next we have Familiarization, and this is a summoning, distraction and diversion. It can be started by talking to pickup sticks in Tavali and is only playable once per week. From this you can either choose a box of summoning ingredients, which I really don't recommend, or you can get triple charm drops for a maximum of 40 minutes depending on how well you did in the distraction and diversion. I don't think I have to explain how good this is, just make sure you know where you're going before you start familiarization so that when you finish you can go straight there and not waste any time trying to decide, because you don't want to lose that valuable triple charm time. Next is Transmutation, and I really wouldn't recommend doing it because it's pretty pointless in my opinion and it is really expensive to do so, but I'm just telling you anyways just in case you really want to do it. So at 64 Divination you will be able to swap 2 gold charms and 25 Vibrant Energy for 1 green charm. At level 74 you'll be able to swap 3 green charms and 75 Lustrous Energy for 1 crimson charm, and at 84 Divination you'll be able to swap 2 crimson charms and 150 Brilliant Energy for 1 blue charm. Once again, I wouldn't recommend doing this, I would just use the charms that you have normally, because there really is no reason to be using up even more money for summoning. There are a couple of other methods that you can use to gain charms, and that's actually by fire making. When you add logs to a bonfire, occasionally a fire spirit will appear. If you free it they will often reward you with a small amount of charms, and with Hunter you can catch spirit implings and charm sprites for even more charms. So we are done with how to obtain charms, now it's time to find out what to make with those charms. So to start off, from 1 to 3 you want to be doing the Wolf Whistle quest. You can start this at Pickup Styx' house in Tavali. As a reward you will get 1 quest point, 276 summoning XP, 275 gold charms, and of course the 2 treasure hunter keys. So first of all, I'm going to be explaining what you can use your gold charms on. From 3 to 16 you should be making DREADFOWLS. You can use the 275 gold charms that you just got from finishing that quest. To make DREADFOWLS it requires 8 spirit shards and 1 raw chicken, and you'll have to make 266 of them. From 16 to 28 you want to make granite crabs. You will need 7 spirit shards and 1 iron ore, and you'll have to make 375 of them. From 28 to 40 you actually want to be saving your gold charms, so use your green ones instead. From 40 to 52 you will need 11 spirit shards and 1 marigold. You will need to make 1283 of them. From 15 to 66 you want to be making spirit terrorbirds. You will need 12 spirit shards and 1 raw bird meat, and you will need to make 5450 of them. And from 66 onwards you want to be making barker toads. For these you will need 11 spirit shards and 1 swamp toad, and you will need to make 144,125 of them. But don't worry, you won't actually have to be making this much, as you will be using other charms too, and those charms give a lot more XP than this. So that is it for your gold charms. Time to move on to your green ones, and you should start using these at level 28, where you will be making compost mounds. You will be making these till level 33, and you will need 47 spirit shards and 1 compost, and you will need to make 150 of them. From 33 to 41 you will be making beavers. This requires 72 spirit shards and 1 willow log, and you will have to make 467 of them. From 41 to 47 you will be making macaws, and you will need 78 spirit shards and 1 clean guam, and you will need to make 499 of them. From 47 to 56 you will be making magpies, which require 88 spirit shards and 1 gold ring, and you will need to make 1310 of them. From 56 to 69 you should be making IBIS, and this requires 109 spirit shards and 1 harpoon, and you will have to make 4901 of them. From 69 to 80 you will be making fruit bats, and this requires 130 spirit shards and 1 banana, and you will have to make 10,877 of them. From 80 to 88 you will be making hydras. You need 128 spirit shards, 1 water orb, and you will need to make 17,045 of them. And lastly, from 88 onwards you will be making unicorn stallions. This requires 140 spirit shards, 1 unicorn horn, and you will have to make 56,017 of them. So for crimsons, from level 32 to 46 you want to be making honey badgers. You will need 84 spirit shards, 1 honeycomb, and you will need to make 396 of them. From 46 to 49 you want to be making pyrelords. You will need 111 spirit shards and 1 tinderbox, and you will need to make 118 of them. From 49 to 61 you need to make bloated leeches. You will need 117 spirit shards and 1 raw beef, and you need to make 981 of them. From 61 to 74 you want to be making smoke devils. This requires 141 spirit shards and 1 goat horn dust, and you need to make 2,966 of them. From 74 to 85 you want to be making granite lobsters. You need 166 spirit shards and 1 granite, and you need to make 6,644 of them. From 85 to 95 you have to be making swamp titans. You need 150 spirit shards and 1 swamp lizard, and you have to make 14,759 of them. From 95 to 96 you will be making iron titans. You'll need 198 spirit shards and 1 iron plate body, and you'll have to make 2,187 of them. And finally, from 96 onwards you will be making pack yaks, and for this you need 211 spirit shards, 1 yak hide, and you'll have to make 7,931 of them. So finally, for blue charms you want to be saving these until level 57, where you will be making spirit GRAAHKs until level 66. For this you'll need 154 spirit shards and 1 GRAAHK fur, and you'll have to make 586 of them. Then you want to save them for a few levels until you can do obsidian golems at level 73 to 79. You'll need 195 spirit shards, 1 obsidian charm, and you'll have to make 1,255 of them. From 79 to 83 you'll need to make fire titans. For this you'll need 198 spirit shards, 1 fire talisman, and you'll have to make 1,259 of them. From 83 to 89 you'll have to make lava titans, and for this you'll need 219 spirit shards, 1 obsidian charm, and you'll have to make 2,972 of them. And from 89 onwards you'll be making geyser titans. For this you'll need 222 spirit shards, 1 water talisman, and you'll have to make 10,462 of them. So there are a few good places where you can infuse the pouches. The best one's in Prif, as it's the closest one to the bank, and you can do this on the summoning obelisk that is on the west side of Prif. Another option is to use the Kaya if you have 57 summoning, and use it to teleport you here. Open the trapdoor and use the summoning obelisk under there, and then teleport back to a bank using a Tuckle Ring of Dueling, or any other teleport close to a bank. If you have under 57 summoning and don't have access to Prif, you can use the Tavli obelisk, as it's the closest one to a bank and really isn't that far away. And finally, you can choose to do this the expensive way, and I only recommend this if you have a ton of cash to spare. and that is to note your secondary items and sell them to pickup sticks, and then buy them back as unnoted ones. This is an extremely quick way to train summoning, but it is very costly. So whilst you are training, you can use spirit gems, and what these will do is they'll give you a chance to save a charm when infusing your pouches. You can either get these from monster drops or treasure hunter. You'll probably actually get more of these from treasure hunter as they're actually quite a rare drop from monsters, but if you have them, just make sure to equip them because they can save you quite a bit of charms. Also, you can swap the pouches you make with Bogrog, who is located by the summoning obelisk in Gutanoth. He will give you 70% of the shards needed to create your pouch, and you need a summoning level of 21 to do this. It's most likely that this will not be worth it, and you may find that you will save more money by selling the pouches to the Grand Exchange rather than this guy, so just do whatever saves you the most money. Also, if you have access to Prif, you can swap your pouches with Lord AMLODD, who is located by the summoning obelisk in Prif, which is on the west side. He will give you the same amount of shards that Bogrog would, unless you have completed the Tyranwin hard tasks. If you've completed these tasks, he will give you 10% more shards that are required to make the pouch, so always remember to check to see if you can save money by selling them to the Grand Exchange, or just exchanging them for shards with the two people that I've just mentioned. Anyways, that is the end of the video. I hope this helped you. Please leave a like if it did and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks for watching and peace.